Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Shaun of the Dead. As you can see, I got my zombie apocalypse mouse pad, which tells you what? That's right. Today we're talking about your zombie prepared plan. This is all about your survival plan on what you're going to do in a zombie apocalypse. Are you going to bug in or are you going to bug out? All right? There's different schools of thought, and I want to hear your comments. Keep it relevant to the topic. I don't want tangents that are going on. I don't want stupid questions going on like I've heard in the past about whatever. I want relevant comments on, your zombie apocalypse survival plan. I've watched several different videos today on it, and I watch people talking about what they would do in a zombie apocalypse and things like that. And I actually scrolled through some of their comments and stuff, and some people were like, "That's fake. It's stupid." And I'm like, if you're going to leave a comment like that, don't. I'll just delete your crap because you're an idiot. So, without further ado, zombie apocalypse survival plan. First off, if you've been watching Doomsday Preppers, you're going to notice that they do certain things for different disasters and all that. Well, in a zombie apocalypse, I believe that if you're prepared for one disaster, you're prepared for them all. It's kind of, it's a generalized concept. And since zombie attacks never happened, it's kind of hard to prepare for something that you've never experienced. We can prepare for hurricanes. We can prepare for tsunamis. We can prepare for earthquakes. We can prepare for, forest fires. We can prepare for these kind of things. We can prepare for ice storms. They've happened. Can you prepare for a zombie apocalypse? You can try. Now, that being said, I got a buddy that's a bug hunter. He's got his whole plan set up. What he's going to do, he's going to chill in his house, and he's going to wait for a certain amount of time, and then he's going to try to make his trek to a rural area. Well, I'm similar in demeanor when it comes to wanting to bug out to a rural area. And that's about where we start to schism a little bit. I prefer to bug out. I want to get out of town as fast as possible. I want to ride the wave out. The wave is when the blender hits, whenever the zombie is at its peak, when the chaos is at its utmost, and there's the most carnage going on around you. That's the blender. That's what you don't want to be in. It's like being in the middle of a riot with cannibals. Okay? So I want to ride that wave out. And before that wave of blender hits me, I want to split. I want to be Gonzville and just be riding it on the way out. If I can do that, great. Awesome. Perfect. Great job. Did my thing. Did exactly what I wanted to do. Got to the rural area. Hooked up with some family and friends. Started to set up my plan of action. Started to barricade things off. And then next thing you know, we've got our watches. We've got everything ready to rock and roll. Everything's freaking great. Downside. I get caught in a situation I can barely make it home. Well, now I got to bug in. Because I'm not going out in the blender. I'm not stupid. I'm not suicidal. That's crazy. I don't want to go out there and get bit. It's a death warrant. So what do? Well, fortunately, I live in a second story of an apartment, so I can dingle drop off my balcony if I need to get down quickly. That's fine. And I only have one entrance in and out of my apartment outside of my balcony, and I can barricade that door up nicely with the furniture and things I have in my apartment. So that's cool. I'm good. I've got some food and some water, so I can last out for a while. So I'm good. I got what I need for sustenance. Now what you got to start thinking about is some other aspects. Here's where we're talking now. Other aspects are this. People that you already know from actual facts, Louisiana and New Jersey and all that. Stores go out of food and water in 3 days if they're not having supplies brought to them. Now, that number can shorten greatly depending upon the panic. So, if people get scared, they'll overbuy, so they'll be the haves, not the have-nots. So, they're going to overbuy and have all this extra stuff. They'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, which I'm similar to that, and most people are. Now, whenever you're the grocery store and you're on the menu and it's not the grocery store you go to, now that makes things just a little bit different. That's when you're going to start to see something else. The thing that you're going to start to see on that is this. You're going to start to see a surge of zombies for about 3 days. By then, people should be pretty well fortified in their homes and holding things back. And after about 3 days, things are going to hit a small calm. You're not going to see the frenzy at full effect. You're going to see, a pretty steady storm of zombies maneuvering about, but it's not going to be in that intensity as it was before. After about 7 days, the average person is going to run out of food and water. If you're smart out of the gate and you've rationed it to half rations, you might have a couple of weeks of food and water, the average person. There's a few people that might have a month. That's a smaller percentage. So your average Joe, 7 days. So 7 to 10 days, because they might start to ration there towards the end. They go, oh, things are getting kind of lean. We better start, tightening the belt up a little bit. I don't want to go outside yet. Well, 7 to 10 days, you're going to see mini blenders happening. You're going to see a surge in the zombie community, and you're going to see their numbers swell because they're going to be getting more fresh meat because people are going to be popping their heads out of their holes. People are coming out of their homes to go find some stuff for their families, and they're going to get zapped by some zombies. Okay? Now, at the 2-week mark or so, 14 to 20 days-ish, ballpark, you're going to start to see these other people start to pop out of their holes. And you're going to see some more micro blenders happen, and you're going to see the numbers swell a little bit more. But there's not going to be as many of those people as there were the 7-day people. Now, 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, you'll probably see some more micros as you go, and you're going to see some more maneuvering and stuff. But by the time you get about 4 weeks in, it is what it is. And I'm going from the mythos of, when a zombie is fresh, it's fast. When a zombie is old and decrepit and has been malnutritioned, it's going to be slower. So that's the zombie attack that I'm operating from. Okay, so zombies have a shamble standby mode where they're just kind of, and they see something, they're like, and they just bolt, full tilt straight at it. Which brings us to a couple of human logistics. They bolt straight out to try to get their piece of food, which is you, and you try to get away. Well, if they're more necrotic, then they're going to be slower. If they're fresh, then they're going to be a little bit faster. So you got to be careful what you encounter. But at first, they're all going to seem relatively the same because they're saving their energy, because they're not going to burn energy for no prize. They're primal, but they're not going to just run full tilt in circles all day. Now, this brings me to another point. Zombies work off of the human physics of the human body. If you cut somebody's Achilles heel, they can't really run on that leg. Even if pain is not an issue, it's just the leg doesn't work properly. You blow someone's kneecap out, they can't put weight on that leg. So, as zombies run at you full tilt, the person that zombie was as a human might have been a couch potato, white-collar desk jockey that has never done a stitch of exercise in 10 years and has just been chilling. But now he's running 15 miles an hour because he's all hyped up on zombie adrenaline, trying to eat you, and is ignoring all pain and everything. Well, he's going to be shredding all the inside of his tendons and his muscles and things. Hence, at some point, is going to damage that body to a point where he's not going to be as effective or as fast. So you are going to see a decline in the speed of zombies after the first month or so anyway, because they're going to be destroying themselves unless they're more fresh than some of the other ones. You're going to start to see a decline in their speed, which is a good thing. Next point. So at that month mark, you're pretty much going to be set in the world where it's at. And that's about the point my buddy decides he wants to stick his head out of his hidey hole. I, on the other hand, I'm looking about that, 12-day mark. And I'll tell you why I say about 12 days. 7 to 10 days, you're going to see those other people pop out of their holes. And you're going to see those micro flashes. And, at the 2 weeks section, about 14 to 20 days, you'll see another set of flashes. And I might, depending upon the temperature of the water, I might kick myself out about 5 days. Let things subside for a couple of 3 days, kind of get a lay of the land. 4th, 5th day in, grab my gear and go. Bug out. get going. Let's move out. And if I can do that, then that's great. If I have to wait longer, then that's fine too. 22 ammo is not too expensive. It's easy to pick up. Right now it's not because of all the craziness. But this is 325 rounds, I believe, of 22 ammo. I believe this is a 325 round box. Yeah, 325 rounds. That's 325 dead zombies. It doesn't take but a 22 shell to destroy the brain of a zombie. So that alone is 325 dead zombies. Zombies are finite. Your ammunition is finite, so it depends on how much ammo you have and what you're going to utilize. Am I going to use a high-powered assault rifle, or am I going to use a high-powered hunting rifle, or am I going to use a high-powered handgun? No, I'm going to sit up here with 22s, and I'm going to plink along, not make my shoulder sore, and I'm going to take my time and go tink, 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 and it's going to be less noisy for one. That means that it's going to be, it's going to draw less to my area, and if I can thin out the area, then that means I can maybe make myself an escape at some point. And you got to, look at how you're going to make your escape. Second thing is, once you get gone, then that's when you're going to have to use some other things at your disposal. If you happen to have any other firearms, any other weapons, things like that. If you have to get in a melee range with a zombie, you're kind of already losing, in my opinion, because I don't want to go hand to hand with a zombie. I don't want to go to machete, to zombie. I mean, that's a little closer than I'd like to be. If I got to do it, I got to do it. But I would prefer a more long-range encounter. I prefer to avoid them altogether, but that's not going to necessarily happen. But as soon as you crack off a shot, they're going to hear it. They're going to start to move your direction. But at that month mark, marauders are going to start to come out, gangs of folk. You're going to have street gangs that are going to absorb up into their little pockets, and they're going to go out and surge out to try to find food, water, supplies, things like that. And they're going to take them from you. There were criminals before. Nothing's going to stop that. Now we're living in a raw. That's what, without rule of law. So if we're going to be living in a lawless society, then these guys were lawless to begin with. Imagine how much more vicious they're going to be now with no oversight whatsoever. They're going to be doubly vicious. They're going to kick in your door, they're going to rape your wife while you watch, and they're going to kill you and the rest of your family and drag your wife out and gang rape her until she dies, until they have no more use for her. I mean, that's what they're going to do, and they're going to take every bit of stuff you have in your house that has any importance to them at all. And that's it. That's what they're going to do. So you got to be prepared for that kind of thing, and you got to build your own little networks. I got a group of friends, and we all kind of have different plans, but we all have enough of the similar plans that we can assist each other in our plans to hit to a certain crossroads, and then we'll start to spread our own separate directions. This is just going to be part one of a couple of different videos, but this is just some basic questions on where are you at, and some food for thought on where you're going to be in a zombie apocalypse. Once you bug out, you're going to have multiple bug out routes. You should have caches along the way, and your bug out location should be someplace that you feel that is going to be extremely fortified, hard to get a hold of, to keep you as safe as possible. So again, this is Shaun of the Dead. I appreciate your time. Don't forget to subscribe, and by all means, give me all these comments. I want to know what your plans are. Tell me what your plan is, and I'll elaborate on my personal plan. And then one of my next videos, and I want you to comment on that one too, is what gear, what weapons, and what supplies should you have for a zombie apocalypse. Thanks.